you remember that they're changing my voice. So this video was made back in August 31st, 2009. I was 27. They edited my images, made it so I look different. This is from a video in 2012. Okay, I didn't look like that so much. I looked more handsome, less elf-like, and I didn't look so young and so on. But I did look bad in this video, and I decided to make it anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through some key parts. I'm gonna go through my second video. That was my second official video. This is my first official video. It was about an organization that controls the corporations and the state, and I proved it with logic, but I had to start off by explaining why one should take time to research in the first place and do the right thing. Okay, so I highlighted, that their knowledge is not being used to help mankind or to have a righteous king. This is from the transcript, mind you. Okay. The knowledge is used to promote the secret society's well on earth, and they keep it from the people, and instead of giving it to the wise, they give it to the wicked people. Okay? So it's not being used to help mankind or have a righteous king. So I'm talking about morality consistently for years. Okay, now a lot of you say, well, why did you look like this and so on and so forth? So I put these two examples real quickly. Badass My Street, right? In that song, he says that me sees these streets need peace, these streets, these homeless folks that don't eat. He says, we can clean up the streets, so let's sweep. And the chorus is, Lord, help us to not make the same mistakes. We're hustling hard, trying to make a way. I can see problems all over the world, but it starts on my street. Then there's this Tupac song where he says, hard times is all we've seen, but on my block we still pray. And things like that drew me to that culture, to make a long story short. Okay, so a song I made when I was 16 years old, I said, see, I've always seen, but my fate is blind. Okay, I go on to say, chronic smoke fills my chest and lungs, relieving pain of 1,000 brothers hung, literally and metaphorically, a horror story, straight up treason, right? They're Americans too, right? No reason, gold teeth and chains covered with blood and brains. My boy's bandana changed blue to red to stale blue, alive borderline soldier to dead and true. The rain and smoke doesn't allow my tear-filled eyes to see normally. White man will never conform me, pal. Timing slightly off in terms of I was still learning how to rap and so on and so forth. Another soul tossed. The greater network crossed. Mind frame creating misplaced game. Dumb wild whore hands. They want a ball and ignore the deeper call. Y'all through stressing me. Okay? So what was my problem with women? That they were gold diggers. They wanted to ball, like, the Dee ball, but I didn't mean that back then when I made that song. I said they wanted to ball, they want to make money, and they'd be gold diggers. And they ignored the deeper call. And why I'm scrambling to get the message out at 16 years old, I say my timing's slightly off, and another soul's tossed. The greater networks crossed. Okay? I said, see, I've always seen it that way. And I'm 16 years old, and I've seen it this way my whole life, right? That's important to know. And I have that song posted on the internet if any of you are interested. I'll put it, put it in the comments. So here's my second video, okay? The second video of that series. There's a bunch of stuff here, so let me just go to some key parts here about morality. There's a bunch of good stuff here, a bunch of notes I put here I want to go over at some point. But going down to, here we go, 4 minutes, 4:36. Okay, see, good, so the light, and who are using knowledge for good and to help their fellow man and build a great glorious empire. But the people who were in the area who looked a certain way were actually using the knowledge to do dark things, evil things. It's irony. Okay, now the problem here was good and evil. I'm a moral supremacist, not a racial supremacist. And again, a lot of you are saying, okay, what business do you have talking about Egypt? Horus is the main deity of Egypt. See, Horus on the Narmer palette, the first official king of the first dynasty of Egypt, the first pharaoh. He has the white crown, okay? The white crown of Upper Egypt, and the red crown, which is not here in this picture, is the red crown of Lower Egypt. Here it is right here in that Horus depiction, okay? And some of these. Now notice he has a martial warrior stance, right? He has a mace, what looks like a stick. It could be a measuring stick, could be a striking stick, probably a sparring stick. Okay, here we see him with a sickle-shaped sword, a khopesh, okay, a harp, and he has a staff here as well. He's holding the symbol of life with a sword, has some kind of belt on. Okay, same thing. Here he is striking down the devil, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if there's one person on the planet who should be talking about Egypt, it's me, okay? Because I'm the top martial artist ever possible. These people were mixed. I'm mixed, okay? And so on and so forth. Okay. And of course, you see with corporate sabotage, okay, he has some kind of samurai sword there, and they're sabotaging. So who are they sabotaging first and foremost? Here's Set with a sickle-shaped sword, okay, holding a staff. Here's Father Time looking like Set. Okay, Saturn, aka another form of Set, Satan, Zeus's follower. Zeus is often compared to Set, but all the Greek mythology figures and so-called gods are forms of Set. Anyway, so going back here again. So the problem was they're using their knowledge to do evil things. Okay, they're doing the wrong thing. There's not a divine moral order. So I go on to say, you know, for those of you who think it was racist, I said, of course, not all white people are bad. I said, of course. Like this goes without saying. Because all people are born equal in the eyes of God. Who, what, when, where, how, why. Okay, obviously Christ is not equal to everyone else. He's above everyone else, right? He's born miraculously. God set him apart. It was his destiny. So I'm not equal to everyone. I'm above them. But what I meant is all people are born equal in the eyes of God, and it's their deeds. It's as far as spiritually, it is the deeds that make them wicked, okay, or righteous, okay? As it is written in the Bible that anyone who sins is a devil. But I won't go into that in this video. Okay. So I says, it's in 1 John 3:8, by the way, where it says, and whoever sins is of the devil and things of that nature. Whoever sins is a devil or of the devil, okay? So I pointed that out, okay? I said deeds. Faith without deeds is dead, right? Whoever's sinning is an unrepentant sinner is of the devil, okay? So I'm making this a big issue, and this is back in 2009, August, or this one's probably made around September. The first one was in August. Maybe I made them both the same day, but, you know, because the first channel went down, and I had to repost them again in 2012. It's a long story why that is. You know, basically, they were up there until 2012. That first channel comes down, and I still have the second channel up, so I start reposting them again. Okay. I go over here real quickly here. So basically it says that they're controlling every organization, and the members you would think were righteous people, but they are doing wicked things with them. And they're being blackmailed, okay? So the problem, again, it says they're not righteous. They're doing wicked things. Now, some of you might say, well, that doesn't mean anything, okay? But this has to be emphasized. The major problem everyone has in life is they don't understand what it truly means to be righteous. So I made that a part of the series. I said, why bother talking about secret societies at all or the ills in the world if you're not going to emphasize the moral order? Okay, and I said, remove the log out of the oppressor's eye first, before you remove the log out of, the twig out of the black community's eye. And that's important as well. I go over here and say, and he who has wisdom, let him see the truth, that he or she rise to the occasion and do the right thing. Because the first step is when people like me introduce you to these ideas, the next step is you do the research, you see what I'm talking about, and it's our collective work together that can expose this. Okay, so it says, let him who is wise, okay, he who is wisdom, let him see the truth, that he or she may rise to the occasion and do the right thing. So I'm saying do the right thing. Don't just take this information and say, oh, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, or whatever you're talking about, and just say, okay, that's cool. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But actually do the right thing. And that's one of the differences between the idea that Horus is referring to as someone who's insisting on justice. This is the devil. This is Pan. This is Zeus. This is Set. This is that family line there. And he's saying, no, none of that Greek rape cult stuff in Egypt. And he says, you're an enemy of Egypt. Here we have this guy holding his sandals, and he has a belt on. It doesn't show up very well right here, but that thing hanging down there, you can see it better in other pictures, is actually a martial art belt, okay? And it's more martial art, like it looks dead on like a black belt, more so than this, okay? It is clearly a belt. And he's a sandal bearer. And I don't know why it came out this bad, but he has what looks like a Shinto sun gate around his neck, okay? Now, some people, theorize these reeds have something to do with Lower Egypt. It's a long story about, these deities. It says Bat, the deity, and so on and so forth. It's a long story. If you care about it, put it in the comments, but I'm almost out of time here. Matter of fact, I'll just end it there.